Po is gaining popularity in China. In honor of the Dragon Master, even a line of toys for happy lunches has been released, and the Emperor himself has grown to love the panda as a family member. In addition to his heroics, Po does not forget his father, Mr. Ping, and for 7 years, he becomes Employee of the Month at the famous diner. A world is established on Earth that everyone has dreamed of, but Po fades from it. To somehow cheer himself up, he goes on a gastronomic tour of China. In the city, the warrior is greeted like a superstar. His fans overwhelm him to such an extent that the owner of the tavern reluctantly lets him in for fear of the crowd, and when she does allow him in, she locks him in a closet. While Po is chatting with Radish, panic breaks out in the town. Martins are trying to steal the magical glove. Breaking free, the dragon warrior seizes the artifact, only to land Po accidentally destroys the entire town. Looking at the glowing hand, Po doesn't understand how it happened, and while he yawns, the Martins take the glove away, leaving the panda with only a piece of iron finger. Spotting a third accomplice of the thieves, Po rushes in pursuit, but of course, the panda is no longer the same. He's exhausted at the beginning. The warrior makes a skirmish on the cable car, but still loses the gauntlet and returns to the city with nothing. The townspeople ask the hero to leave, blaming him for what happened, and back home, Po learns that in addition to his popularity, he's now stripped of the title of Dragon Master. At the panda's house comes the same third accomplice of the gang. But it turns out that all this time, Po was mistaken. The girl knight Luthera, on the contrary, chases the Martins, and she came for the Dragon Master. Seeing what this master is all about, Luthera tries to drain the panda, but when she sees the gauntlet part, she agrees to take him with her. The pair agree to go out early in the morning, but in the meantime, Brown Bear is camping under a tree. After packing, Po looks forward to morning, and when it finally arrives, it turns out that the girl has gone off alone after all. Po goes in search of the bear cub, trying to remember her name. At the same time, the Martins are also wandering through the forest in search of the path to the lotus, and when they're surrounded by the forest's crocodile bandits, they apply a magical glove. The finger on Po's paw also begins to glow and leads him eventually to his friend, who was hoping to get away from the Martin. The company sets off together, exchanging their secrets. Luthera lets the panda read the knight's codex, for which he treats the girl to his father's super sweet sauce. At the same time, the bear tells the boy about the Martins. Klaus and Veruca have been trying to get rid of the English queen for a long time, and now that they have the gauntlet, they must be stopped, or they will get what they want. Luthera agrees to take Po as his squire, which Panda promises to handle despite the weight of the helmet he has to carry. The shortcut Po has promised to take her on leads them to a river of lava, but unexpectedly for the night, the panda shows surprising dexterity and passes through the river, throwing Luthera a rope. A new challenge befalls the wayfarers. Old panda acquaintances he once sent behind bars have decided to welcome a mate. Thanks to Luthera's skill, the wayfarers almost manage to get away from the chase, and when they're attacked from all sides, the girl notices her companion's courage and his command of kung fu. The panda's thumb is turned back on, as a glove is used somewhere. The Martins wreck an entire town, and Po and Luthera rush there to help the locals. The nuns of the town thank the panda for saving the annals and confess that they still consider him the Dragon Master, having recorded all his exploits in their books. The hedgehog leads the heroes on an uneasy path to the high prison, where according to the nun, the perpetrator of the devastation sits. But instead of the expected Veruca, there turns out to be a hedgehog girl in a cage, on whom all the dogs have been hung. The captive promises to tell the bears about the bandits she has seen, only in return, she asks to be set free. The knight instructs his squire to prove himself and free the hedgehog. After fiddling with a pole, Po finally enters the dungeon, and after noodling the guards, takes the prisoner out of there, right with the cage, falling straight into the hands of the Imperial Guards. Much time is spent fighting with the rhinoceroses, but eventually, the company disarms the guards, and having freed the hedgehog, sets out in search of Martins. Having taken refuge in the woods, the hedgehog tells the friends that the pests have stolen a scroll with an ancient legend. which lists all the artifacts including the Gauntlet. It becomes clear that Klaus and Veruca are after all 4 objects, which together are capable of destroying the entire world. Rhinoceros reports to the Emperor about the atrocities of the former Dragon Master, and he sends a forbidden gang in search of the culprit. Po shows her friend a book that tells her about a fire whip, one of the artifacts. To find out where it is hidden, you need to read the sequel, so the panda suggests we go straight to the author, Gao. The city is plastered with wanted posters, so Luthera advises her friend to hide while she meets the author, but Po puts on a strange costume in which he seems unnoticeable, and in this form, the company goes to the meeting in full. The warriors learn that Gao has passed away, and there will be no more new books. Po tries to speak to the writer's son, but the latter forbids the travelers to even approach the workshop. The bears enter Gao's house and find the unreleased book. Noticing the thieves, Lao strikes the alarm bell, drawing the attention of the Forbidden Gang, which is following in the footsteps of the Dragon Master. The writer's son doesn't want to give up the comic book, hoping to keep the memory of his father alive, but Luthera's fiery speech convinces the boy to share. The book mentions a lost city in which a fiery whip is hidden. Lao gives his friends a map by which they will find it. Po is sure that he and the bear are friends now. But Luthera cools the guy's ardor by admitting that if she had to choose between him and winning, she would not save her buddy at the risk of the mission. The Forbidden Gang finds the Dragon Master and spits poison on him, trying to arrest the outlaw. The knight joins the fight for her friend, but after receiving a severe burn, she falls to the ground and nearly loses the map. Luthera watches as the lizards take Po to the Emperor, but remembering her recent words, the girl actually chooses the assignment, deciding not to save the panda. From the last of their strength, the Forbidden Gang drags the cart with the fat man, when suddenly they are stopped by a strange sound. Po is sure that his girlfriend has returned to set him free, but Luthera does not emerge from the woods. The knight, meanwhile, goes in search of the flaming whip, convincing herself that she did the right thing. A girl from the village appears beside her, believing that she must now accompany the bearess, saving her life in return for her own. The Martins have been wandering the wilderness for more than a day in search of a town and a fire whip. Eventually, a sandstorm hits the pair. The cart carrying the prisoner rolls down the slope and crashes, freeing the panda. Once out, Po can't get over the betrayal of his girlfriend. Luthera, on the other hand, does not stop to think about what she has done. Discussing it with the girl, Bear reaches the market, behind which the lost city is hidden. Po finds one of the Forbidden Gang members in the woods who managed to escape a strange raider. The lizard asks the fat man not to chase him away, promising to help him find the whip. The lad is so eager to please the Dragon Master that he even carries him on his back, despite the difference in weight. Po notices Martins in the market, who are arranging a robbery. He rushes to stop the thieves, but the lizard turns out to be a traitor, and by chaining the panda to a cart, he plans to take him to the Emperor to finally get his payoff and recognition. Enraged, Po demolishes the traitor with the cart and goes after the Martins, meeting Luthera on the way. Upon catching Veruca, the knight forces himself on her and lashes out a sword, but a magic glove helps the Martin fend off the blow and flee again. The company would love to begin the next chase, but a stranger from the woods appears in the marketplace. The bears find themselves trapped between the hunter and the sandstorm, but a girl from the village who appears rescues them and leads them straight to the road to the lost city.